My next guest is finally returning back to action. He's going to be taking on Carlton Minus coming up here at UFC Fight Night on December 19th. It is Rick Glenn back here on the program. Rick, how's it going, man?
It's going great. I'm just chilling out here in my workout room, gearing up and ready to go.
Yeah, you got a pretty nice workout room there. Is this something that's been evolved since the pandemic, or have you always had something that you could work out in?
Yeah, for sure. It evolved a little bit. I got a Airdyne bike over there, and our big dog Zeus is out here wanting to join.
Of course, yeah. Always want to get in on the action. Well, it looks like a good setup, man, and good to hear that you got all your training in order. November 2018, that's the last time we saw you fight. We got to start here. What's been the reason for the layoff?
Well, I had some injuries I had to deal with. I actually had a major hip surgery that I had to go under. So the recovery for that was over a year. So I'm good to go now, but it's a long nagging injury. They fixed the labrum. There was a big bone spur, and I had a lot of cartilage that they had to take out. So they did everything they could before actually replacing the thing, and I feel pretty good now. So that's what the layoff was from.
Okay, that makes sense. When did you get that surgery? Do you remember exactly when it was?
Yeah, it was March of 2019.
Okay.
March early 2019.
Cool. Okay, yeah, just getting a timeline here. And is this hip injury something you've had your entire career, or was it something that was aggravated recently?
I don't know. I can't say entire career, but we found out what it was shortly after one of my UFC fights, and it bugged me for a very long time, and I had other issues, for years that I didn't know what was going on, and maybe it was from that, but I don't want to say for sure. And yeah, it sucked, crawling out of bed every morning for years and just kind of grinding through it and getting it done. But I'm glad I'm not all achy, and my body's freed up more, and I'm not living in pain every day like I used to.
Yeah. So do you kind of feel a little bit like RoboCop now, having the surgery? Feel like a new and improved Rick Glenn getting this fixed?
New hip, new man.
I love it. That's good, man. I got to ask, obviously, being off that long, you're not collecting a paycheck from the UFC. How have you been able to sort of survive financially when you're not fighting?
Yeah. Well, luckily, we live pretty simple, and we actually moved back to Iowa, so we have a home here that I renovated. I pretty much gutted it all and redid it myself. And so we live pretty simple, but I contacted the best plumber I know and best master plumber I know, and offered my services to him, and told him I was accepting job offers, and he gave me a job offer, so I was working part-time as a plumber,
Nice.
Assistant. So I've done everything from a septic tank. We don't really do too many of those, but everything from a septic tank, out your roof with the vent stuff, and so I learned a new trade. I like working with the hands, and I've done a lot of stuff over the years since I was a kid, and so it helped supplement the income loss. Do
you feel a bit like Mario from Super Mario Brothers? That's what I would do if I was a plumber. I think that's very cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy I was working with too. I stopped working as soon as I found out I had a fight coming up, and he understood, and he knew I was going to do that. As soon as I knew I had a fight coming up, I'm going, balls to the wall into the fight camp and getting it done. And this guy is really cool. He knows some boxing. He knows the fight game a little bit, and really good, hardworking, godly man. So it's good to work with someone like that.
And just to get the timeline here, when did you actually move back to Iowa? Because I had heard that you'd moved back to Iowa because I interviewed Johnny Case. I know you've been working a bit with him as well.
Yeah, he moved back out to Las Vegas. He was here for a little bit. Mm-hmm. But we moved back. So I did, was it 8 or 9 weeks of rehab after my surgery, and then we moved back. So We've been here over a year and a half or so.
Okay, that's good. I was going to say, I mean, aside, it's obviously a bummer you're not training at Team Alpha Male, but at the same time, do you kind of feel like you dodged a bullet with everything that's going on in California with the COVID restrictions?
Oh, sure, man. When all this stuff came up, it was like, gosh, thank God we're not in California. You know, all the regulations and stuff. And from what we got from when we were living there, most people were just kind of sick of some of the stuff. And you know, I was going to South Lake Tahoe quite a bit, and I heard some of my friends that do some hiking and snowboarding up there when it was really strict. They were fining people, I guess. If you weren't a resident of Tahoe, you were getting $1,000 fine.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's interesting. Let's talk about your opponent here, Carlton Minus, 10-2 record. What do you know about him? How do you feel like you match up against him?
Yeah, 10-2. He's from Alaska. You know, I think he's more of a striker. Seems like he's got some decent boxing. He's fought a couple top guys, but you know, I'm just excited to get back in there regardless of who it is. You know, he's not a top ranked guy, of course. He lost his debut, and he's coming down from 170, so I imagine he might be a little bigger. But I'm going up to 155, so you know, he probably has a little more of a cut than me, so hopefully, you know, that works in my favor and he wears himself out a little more. But you know, regardless, I'm pumped to get back in there and perform like I know I can. You know, it's been years where it's like I've had some nagging injuries here and there, and just not quite my you know, myself and at my peak, what I know I can do. I know where I stand in the room with other, you know, world champions, and I know what I can do. I got to go out there and make it happen, obviously, and yeah. December 19th, man, I'm looking forward to putting on a great show and performing like I know I can.
Well, I think people forget how talented you are, Rick, and I'm not here to kind of kiss your butt, but I do remember your fight against Gavin Tucker where it was just a complete dominant performance. Like, no one's ever fought Gavin like that before, and the reason I bring it up is because he's fighting this weekend. But do you feel like this is your chance to kind of remind people that, hey, and especially in a new division now, that you're really a player in the UFC?
Yeah, definitely, and especially in the new division. You know, I fought in 155 years ago, but I'm not going back to 145. It's just not feasible. I'm not going to kill myself making the cut. And a lot more people are getting to be a little more wise about there, and they're moving up or adjusting to their more natural weight classes. But yeah, I'm really excited and happy to get out there and do what I'm passionate about, and I enjoy doing it. I enjoy the training. I'm enjoying the process. You know, the first year that went by when I was, you know, after my hip surgery, the first year is like, all right, you know, that went quick. I focused on the things that I neglected over the years and take care of my body, mobility stuff. And then this next year, it's like, holy cow, I just can't wait to get back in there.
No, I bet. And do you find that camp's a bit easier now, not having to focus as much on the cut? Like, I imagine the cut's going pretty well.
Yeah, I just started. Adjusting stuff, and I'm a pound ahead of schedule for this morning. So it shouldn't be not nearly. It's probably I'll be cutting like half as much as I normally cut. You know, I still walked around after my last fight. I was walking around the heaviest I had been. For over 10 years probably. So it was kind of nice. I had time to let my body adjust to a bigger weight class. Although I still won't be cutting as much weight. So.
And we talked about your opponent and his record, you know, being 10-2, but have you taken a closer look at some of the opponents he's fought in the regional scene? And the reason I mention that is because a lot of the Alaska FC guys that have fought through that promotion, they kind of get tailor-made matchups. If you look, there's a lot of losing records. Did you know that about your opponent?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's like same as some Brazilian promotions. You know, they kind of get fed some people. But he fought Rick Story. I saw, I think, yeah, he fought Justin Buchholz. I didn't see that fight, but you know, he won. You know, and he's a top guy. But I'm not taking anything for granted.
Yeah, no, good call. And you talked a bit about your training camp there. Who are you getting to work with for this camp?
Victor Marino and Miguel Rios, Coach Tyler Brandt. I'm working out in the Grandview Wrestling Room. I've been, you know, mostly there. Living yoga, move well. do a bunch of stuff on my own.
Awesome. That's good, man. And how do you see the fight playing out on December 19th?
I'm winning. Violently.
Okay.
Just a finish. However, any round, I'm looking for a finish.
So obviously long layoff, like we kind of talked about here. Is the plan, if you get the win here, to, get a quick turnaround, or do you want to just see how the fight goes and then reassess after that?
Well, I would love a quick turnaround. Maybe something mid-January if all goes well and I'm not injured or anything. But I'm not early February. My wife is gonna, be due.
Oh wow! Oh, congrats, man. That's awesome.
Thanks.
That's good. A little bit of extra motivation, I'm sure, heading into this fight with that on your mind.
So if not right after, then something late in the spring, late spring, early summer.
Awesome. And last question: any plans for the holidays? I know the focus is on the fight, but do you have anything planned for Christmas?
No, we don't have any plans yet.
Last minute, yeah, that probably. I mean, you got this big fight coming up, understandable. So, there you go.
We're not avoiding family and friends, and we're not doing. I'll wear a mask when I go into stores that require it. Someone's wearing a mask, want me to wear a mask, I'll do it. But we're focused on keeping our immune system strong and.
Good stuff. Rick, thanks so much for the time, man. Really excited to see you back there. Anyone you want to, thank, any sponsors, any social media you want to plug, I'll give you the last word.
Yeah, of course. The academy I'm training with. Thank you guys. Thanks, Vic, for investing your time into me. Absolute MMA and fitness. And my management, Uridium Sports. Combat Corner. Check their gear out.